Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday's our regular city council meeting, April 16th, 6 p.m. Meeting call to order. Madam Clerk, may I have roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Yon,
Present.
Vice Mayor Cano,
Here.
Councilmember Gonzalez, Councilmember Perez.
Present.
We have quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Leading us in invocation will be our council member, Ms. Perez.
Thank you, Mayor. Heavenly Father, let us take a moment to pause and reflect. As we gather today in service to our community, may we be guided by wisdom, patience, and respect. With Easter approaching, a time of renewal and hope, may we carry those same values into our discussions and decisions. May our hearts be open, our words thoughtful, and our actions rooted in the good of all. Amen.
Amen. Can everybody please stand for our pledge of allegiance? Lead us in the pledge is our city manager, Diego Viramontes.
Ready, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Perez and Diego. Before I approve this agenda as form, I would like to add an amendment, the city recognizing and adding the proclamation of National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week to the agenda. I have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, may I have roll call, please?
Mayor Yon,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Cano,
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez, Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Now moving on to our feature pit of the week, we have Chief Knox.
Honorable Mayor and City Council, today we have Pet of the Week. Her name is Rose. She is a 4-year-old lab mix, very energetic, but I am told that during downtime she likes to be lazy and lay on people's laps. I don't know how they know that, but they do. So anyone here want to take Rose home tonight? We'll waive all the fees. She's up to date on all her vaccines.
Looks like we got a winner.
What? Yeah. If you take her home, I won't make you talk. No? Okay.
That she agreed.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Now, let's bring our interpreter to introduce himself. I always try not to forget, but it happens.
That's right.
Go ahead, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, dignitaries. I'm here if you guys need me. Sonayo Garza, si necesitan traducción, aquí estoy. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Garza. Now I'm going to do presentations, introductions, and awards. First one is our proclamation recognizing May 6, 2025 as Giving Day in support of Give Big Kern.
Oh, sorry.
It's not a Give Big Kern booby trap.
Today recognizing May 6 as Giving Day in support of Big Kern, whereas Give Big Kern, an annual day of giving hosted by the Kern Community Foundation that unites residents in support of local nonprofit organizations through donations, volunteerism, community spirit, and whereas since 2016, Give Big Kern has raised millions of dollars for hundreds of nonprofits, strengthening the capacity and sustainability of organizations that serve Kern County's more critical needs. And whereas the City of McFarland values the essential role of nonprofits in supporting education, health, safety, economic opportunity, and community well-being, particularly in the underserved areas. And whereas Give Big Kern reflects a shared vision, a generosity, and civic engagement, bringing communities together to make Kern County a better place to live, work, and thrive. Now, therefore, I be proclaimed that I, Saul Ayon, Mayor of the City of McFarland, on behalf of the McFarland City Council, do hereby recognize May 6, 2025 as Giving Day in the City of McFarland and encourage all residents to participate and Give Big Kern and support the nonprofits that uplift our community. And here's Aaron Falk to speak on this organization.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, and to the City Council, and to Erica, who worked for me before she worked for you. Let me just say how much I appreciate the recognition from the City of McFarland. We started Give Big Kern in 2016, and it's been growing over the years. Last year was our best year yet, where in the single 24-hour giving day, we brought in $1.5 million for nonprofits that serve Kern County. These are organizations that serve everywhere in the county. However, I would really like to begin to build out the relationship with the city of McFarland and with our organizations that serve here. For example, last year, I had a very similar opportunity in the city of Taft. And the mayor was very nice, and he brought us in, and he said, hey, we are happy to recognize this date for you, but what are you doing for the city of Taft? And I think that's a very fair question. So that was the launching point. And then since then, we've found several local to Taft nonprofits, and we found donors to seed money for Give Big Current for this year for them. I'm hoping to do that for McFarland as well as everywhere in the north part of the county. We've been invested up here. Over the last 10 years, Kern Community Foundation has given away $250,000 in scholarships to students from McFarland. We're currently operating the Kern Farm Workers Grant, which is going to be giving money to farm worker organizations over the next 3 years to the tune of $500,000 in Kern County. I would really like to expand our footprint, especially out of the west side of Bakersfield, where I know we've historically been. Right. But our neighbors, everybody in the county is important to us. And so I'm hoping that this is just step one of a relationship where we can work together and we can find ways to support what's important for the city of McFarland.
Oh, absolutely. You can leave your card. I got 3 nonprofits, legit nonprofits, not like the NGOs that those just getting rid of, but real ones.
There are some less than perfect ones out there, but I'm happy to help you guys.
Yeah, and the first one that come to mind is our Mujeres Activas, and we got it also for our kids. But definitely, we'll touch bases on this partnership coming to light. So.
I look forward to that. In fact, it's funny. We're doing a series of farm worker grants right now, and Mujeres, right? Yeah. That came up. I was talking actually to Assemblywoman Baines' staff. And she's like, oh, yeah, you got to check this organization out. And it was great. So very excited to hear that.
Before you leave, go ahead and cross. I wish we had somebody that could take them and show them the work they've done on the east side. Well, I'm not their boss, but maybe
I could go the day without the police escorting me somewhere. That would be nice.
Maybe 7 years ago, I would have said you can't go by yourself. You know what I mean? But now you can walk out there.
Like I'm a gringo? Or?
Hey, you said it. I didn't.
Okay.
No. No, but awesome. How can we get in touch and stuff, especially now? I don't know if it's too late because high schoolers are graduating. And not only high schoolers, but also college students because parents, they have to pay those bills because either they don't, the academic scholarship or whatnot, but just to get this partnership going.
We received, I think it's 45 applications from the zip code for McFarland for our scholarships.
Okay.
I've got 850 scholarships applicants this year. We are going to hand out $1 million, a little bit over $1 million. What I really need are people to help us score the applications. So if you can go to kernfoundation.org and volunteer your time, if you're willing to go through some of the applications and help us decide which students are most deserving. And these are much more need-based than merit-based.
Absolutely. I'll definitely be part of your panel. I'll make sure that McFarland 93250 is up there.
Okay. We'll connect.
We have a cadet program. They need sometimes uniforms, equipment, and stuff like that. So there's so many other things that I think this organization could help us out with.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I really do.
Awesome. Let's get a picture real quick. Vice Mayor and Councilmember Perez, would you like to add anything to this?
I think it's a great opportunity for our community. Thank you for bringing that information to us.
Vice Mayor?
Yeah, thank you for sharing information that I think sometimes not everybody is aware of, especially the scholarships. I think those are important for our kids, the future of tomorrow. So, thank you.
No, absolutely. You want to add anything else, Aaron?
Just again, gratitude from the bottom of my heart for inviting me up here today.
Absolutely. you definitely don't need an invitation. You're welcome every year, as long as you produce some funding.
Deal.
No.
Deal.
But Chief, can we get somebody to, show them? Thank you.
Wait, I have a certificate.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Mayor. So I wrote it wrong because I apologize ahead of time, but I do have a certificate for
Okay.
you guys as well, because I know the great work that you do in the District 35th, and I included my parent in the equation because it was done here.
Clarabelle, can you get on the mic?
Thank you, Mayor. It's because I don't want him to leave without he receiving this certificate, because I know the great work that they do, and on behalf of the Assembly women, Dr. Jasmine Baines and the city of McFarland, because you guys are opening the door to the residents of our district to make sure that not only Mujeres Activas or every other organization have the same opportunity to have those grants available for the whole district. And on behalf of my boss, Assembly Women, Dr. Baines, and the city of McFarland, we are also giving you a certificate of recognition for your great work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I apologize.
All right, round of applause, please.
Thank you.
Dr. Baines is my favorite, so please say hi.
You guys are my favorite.
Erica, good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Rasha says hi.
Thank you. Tara, hi as well.
Oh, absolutely. We'll take some photographs if you want to take that. All right, moving on to our next proclamation, National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, April 13th and 19th, 2025. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical service. And whereas when an emergency occurs, that prompt response of medical police department personnel is critical to protecting life, safeguarding property, and maintaining public order. And whereas the safety and success of our police officers frequently rely on the calm professionalism, quick thinking, and accurate information relayed by our public safety dispatchers. And whereas the public safety dispatchers are the first line of communications for community members in crisis and serve as the critical link between our residents and the officers who respond to protect them. And whereas the McFarland Public Safety Dispatchers not only answer calls for help, but also provide essential support to our officers in the field by tracking the locations, relaying vital information, and prioritizing officer safety. And whereas their dedication and composure under pressure have led to the successful apprehension of suspects, protection of victims, and de-escalation of dangerous situations. And now therefore be resolved that the City Council of the City of McFarland does hereby proclaim the week of April 13th through 19th, 2025 to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in the City of McFarland, and extends its heartfelt appreciation to the men and women of the McFarland Police Department Dispatch Unit for the invaluable service and unwavering dedication to the safety of our officers and community. And I have Chief Knox here to make a presentation. Or not presentation, speak on behalf of his dispatch or the city's dispatch.
The proclamation kind of covered it all, but the crux of it is that when you call 911, one of these ladies here will answer the phone. One of these ladies here has to remain calm no matter what incident is happening, no matter what emergency is going on, and no matter how many calls are coming in at a time. They have to direct us, not emergency services, and at the same time, remaining composure, keeping their composure. They do an outstanding job all the time, and we hear it. I know the citizens don't hear it, but their recognition is deserved. Yep, we'll bring them up.
Okay. Hold on for a second, Chief. Councilmember Perez and Vice Mayor, do you have any comments to add? Your mic. You know what, Chief, what we should do is introduce them individually and then let them speak at a certain time, if you don't mind. Okay, we'll take the picture first and then we'll go from there. All right. Chief?
I think Dispatch Supervisor Sylvia Tafoya needs to go first. You want her at the podium or? The podium.
My name is Sylvia Tafoya. I have been a law enforcement dispatcher for almost 27 years. This July will make 27 years. I am obviously very dedicated to this position, but I couldn't do it without my staff. We have a great group of girls that answer all these calls for us in the comm center, and I appreciate them more than they know.
This is Jessica Lopez. She's our evidence tech, but also she covers as a dispatcher most of the time.
Yes, I think everybody knows me. My name's Jessica. I've been here for almost 9 years, and I love my job. I love working with everyone here, and we have a stressful position, and we want to thank everybody, and thank you, Chief, and thank you, Sylvia.
Jessica, can you be a little bit louder?
Louder?
I call sometimes and you're yelling in my ear. I'm not just.
No, that's not me.
Okay, now, any questions, counsel, for anyone?
No questions, just,
Comments?
thank you for the work that all you ladies do. I know that, even as council members, we even have to call your line. We can't just call the police officer and, have them come over. We have to call directly to you guys so that you can send, the appropriate help. Thank you for your help.
Thank you.
And next is Carissa Dewar. She's a reserve officer currently and a dispatcher. She's seen both sides of it.
Hi, I'm Carissa Dewar. I've been here for 6 years now, and I love the community and the girls. We wouldn't be able to, none of us wouldn't be able to do it unless we worked as a team. So thank you for all the recognition. I appreciate it.
Any questions, comments? All right, round of applause to Jessica.
And our newest dispatcher, Hilda Meduena.
Hi, my name's Hilda Madueña. So I've been here almost a year. Definitely stressful job. It's amazing though. I like it, and the girls, I got to meet new people, and I could say I really appreciate them, and I could say I love them. I get along with them. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for being here.
And last but not least, and the owner of a 4-year-old lab, Olivia Vello.
Hi, my name's Olivia. I've been with the city of McFarland for approximately 3 years now. This job, it really isn't for the faint of heart at all. But the one thing I can say with this department is I've found a home. Everybody here has been always so nice. Everyone's kind to each other. And you don't find that everywhere.
Oh, definitely. Okay. You said 3 years?
About 3 years.
Okay, good. All right. Any questions, comments?
Just a comment to all the girls, thank you for your hard work, dedication. I know it's not an easy job, but it's a stressful job. But it's worth the dedication that you guys do. I know the whole city has seen the difference in our community, especially in calling. Thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Yes.
I think I said my comments earlier, but again, thank you for the commitment to our community.
No, I just want to thank you when I make the calls for all the illegal vendors and all the big rigs. I want to put a voice to the face because I'm like, who am I speaking to? But no, thank you for the quick response because we actually have to take care of our streets and our businesses. But I know that your job is very critical and you got to make quick decisions. And sometimes, it's not for, like you said, the faint of heart, but I appreciate all your work because you're the one that makes that connection to our police officers and sets them on their way. And depending on the situation.
Over here.
But thank you again. Thank you for all the service you do. And I know you guys are behind the scenes, but you're actually the catalyst for any emergency that needs to be addressed. But thank you again for coming in. And every year we're going to try to, we'll be recognizing you and make sure that.
Second week of April.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for letting us know.
Since 1981.
Yeah, you would. You've been there for a while, so we know. But it's good. No, but thank you once again, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay, another round of applause for these ladies. I'm sure you don't want to stay for all city business. Okay, now, item number item number 3, road AI, an update on the street rejuvenation plans. Our Public Works Directors, Yurlis Hernandez, and one of his staff members is here.
Pedro Castillo.
Drew Castillo.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. We wanted to put together a short presentation on Road AI, which is a software we got approval from council a few meetings ago. I just kind of want to showcase the work that Mr. Pedro Castillo has been putting in. He's been the one implementing Road AI and driving around and getting footage, and also kind of highlight some of the work that we've done, the work that's planned in the future, and the improvements that we've seen with the rejuvenation that we've done this past year. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and hand it off to Pedro Castillo.
All right. Good evening, everyone. As we get through this presentation, once it's all ready to go, I just wanted to provide, like Yurli said, a general update on what we've been doing and what we have planned for the roads. So if we could go down to the next slide.
You just let me know.
So in 2022, we had an assessment of all the roads in the city of McFarland by a company called Pavement Management. They drove around the city, recorded it, and gave it a general grade. And all the streets in the city got a score of about 56, so a little on the lower end. And just over these last few weeks, I've been driving around the city myself, utilizing Road AI. Yes, AI can be used for more than just getting your homework done. Recording the streets of McFarland and giving it a score now. This year we got a score of 72, so improvements have been seen, and the AI detected it as well. The AI gives us a general score based on different stresses in the roads, like cracking or potholes and whatnot, and just imperfections in the road. So if we go down to the next slide. Last year, these are some of the streets that we addressed using a slurry seal, which can help mitigate or fix some of those imperfections that we see in the road. And on the next slide here, you'll see one of those streets that we worked on. This is 3rd Street in 2022. As you can see, imperfections all throughout the road. And now this is 3rd Street in this year, 2025. Pretty noticeable improvement. And then as we continue on, so this is 4th place in 2022. Again, you can see noticeable wear and tear on the roads. And now in 2025, this is the same area. And as we continue on, our last one for the slurry seal area was Mount Arbor. This is it in 2022, and this is that same road in the present day. And now these next two, I'm just gonna highlight some roads that we did complete reconstructions on. We tore out the road, we replaced it. So yes, Cliff Avenue in 2022, I'm sure most of the members of the public and council members remember what that road used to look like. And in 2025, after completely reconstructing it, that is it today. And the other road that we worked on was 5th Street. Again, completely tore it out, laid down a whole new road, and this is what it looks like in current day on the next slide here. So pretty noticeable improvements from just 3 short years, but still a lot of work to do, and we're getting to it. So we're definitely going to make sure that all these concerns of our roads don't go unnoticed, and we address them in a timely manner.
So I think it is important to highlight that, excuse me, previously on the payment management system that we used in 2022, that study cost the city close to $30,000. And that's only a one-time deal where the company comes out and analyzes our roads and gives us a score. So with Road AI, we could drive around the town every single day if we wanted and pick up most up-to-date data. And that's costing the city $9,000 per year. So significant cost savings, and we could use this data to analyze our roads and see where the troubled areas are to address those as quickly as possible. And after these slides, I want to kind of go ahead and showcase what we're planning for 2025. Obviously, we're using this data that we've picked up with Road AI and kind of suggesting certain fixes or certain rejuvenations or slurry seal or cape seal for the future. So this list is still, if you could go to the next slide, please, Erica. So this list is still being fine-tuned depending on what we have in the budget and what are the most critical needs. So like I mentioned before, we use reclamite to be able to treat some of the roads that are in decent condition that we could still salvage and prolong their life. So this is kind of the list here. We have a few neighborhoods that we're planning to do reclamite. And before we do reclamite, we usually do crack seal, skin patches to be able to kind of extend the life of these roads. So, so like I mentioned, this is a long list of the streets we have in mind right now for reclamite, but this list will be fine-tuned before we go out to bid. So this is this list we have here. We're planning to implement slurry seal like we did last year as well, but also want to introduce a new treatment which is called a cape seal. So what a cape seal does is able to take care of roads that are in rougher condition. This is basically they lay down some oil, they drop some aggregate on top, and then come back and seal it with a slurry seal. So you get about a ½ inch of layer of smooth asphalt layer over the top of some roads. So this could take care of a little bit more of significant damaged roads, which would help us prolong the full reconstruction of these roads. So these are the kind of some of the list of streets that we have in mind to take care of here in 2025.
That's it.
And with that being said, I'm open to any comments or questions the council or public may have.
I'll start off with the council. Do we have any comments, questions? I'll start off with Vice Mayor.
Just want to make a comment. Thank you for the great work you guys are doing out there, especially with Cliff. I used to get phone calls on a daily basis or weekly basis. Are we going to post this like on our website for residents to see, or even our Facebook pages or social media? Sorry.
Yeah, once we fine tune the list, we will make it official, and also we put all our bid documents on our website to advertise to the public and to any potential contractors bidding the project.
Great job out there. Thank you, guys.
Ms. Perez.
Likewise, thank you for all the work that you do yearly. It's just very noticeable, everything that's been happening with our streets, and I'd like to thank you for that, and your staff as well.
Yeah, I concur with Ms. Perez. I mean, even when we started, we were able to get some funding, but we didn't have a director that could put a plan together. But thank you, at least, for your expertise. And I mean, our job is to get the funding for your staff. And I know that you're losing a couple staff members to other municipalities because of the work that you're doing. But you know, we're going to continue to support you. I know we're a smaller community as far as the amount of wages, but I think it's important that our city knows that this is a long time ago we started on this, and we got some big plans this year that we're working the plans. So hopefully by the end of the year, I'm gonna good job, Drake, on this, and definitely the position is definitely needed to offset all that cost on the outside engineering, how much they charge us just for the management, just to sign off on the project. Mm-hmm. Just continue progressing and keep moving forward. I'm going to open up to the public if they have any questions, concerns regarding any of our roads. Go ahead. Yeah.
I have a loud voice. I can speak. I'm a teacher. Mayela Bujanda Medina, 244 8th Street here in McFarland. Thank you very much. The streets are looking wonderful. I can't wait till Kern Avenue is done. Yay, and I got something from Mr. Resendez saying this summer.
Yes.
Yes, so if we can really push it to finish before August 4th, because that's the first day of school.
Well,
so that would be awesome.
it would have been completed, but the addition of your kindergarten classes, we didn't want the heavy machinery. But
yeah,
there's always a plan for that, and every time we had elected officials, I made sure I drove them down that street.
Yeah.
To get some
funding. The whole way, right? Yeah. Yes.
So
yes, definitely.
We can't do it anymore. So.
Yes. So thank you very much. But just one little comment. I know 8th Street, that's where I live. It was one of the first streets to get that little layer. It looks beautiful. But just a question, gravel is all over still. So I'm thinking maybe they forgot to come back and sweep it out or something, because the other streets don't have that.
Yeah, as I believe it's a slurry seal that we did there. As it ages, some of that gravel starts picking up. They did do a sweep, but over time that material hardens. So it's a matter of time before it hardens and settles, and all the
then it comes off.
Yeah, the gravel gets washed away or swept up. Yeah.
Okay. So. Okay, that was my question. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you, Yurlis. Thanks for the presentation. It's good to be transparent and show the community what your department's doing. So thank you once again.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Drake.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to, no, we don't have no department of reports. Moving on to consent agenda. Consent agenda consists of all items that in staff's opinion are routine and non-controversial. These items are approved in one motion unless a council member or a member of the public requests to remove a particular item. Is there anybody from the public that would like to discuss or remove a particular item in the consent agenda? Seeing none. Anybody from, the council? Ms. Perez?
None.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Madam Clerk, I have a first and a second.
Mayor Yon,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Cano,
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez, Councilmember Perez,
Aye.
motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on to public hearings. Approval of resolution number 2025-31, a resolution of the City Council of the City of McFarland declaring city-owned property as an exempt surplus land pursuant to California Government Code 54221, subsection 5, subsection 1, and subsection C. Mr. Paul Saldana.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring before you an item that takes certain properties within the city of McFarland that is owned by the city, and we are proposing to process these properties through the Housing and Community Development Department for the state and declare them as surplus properties. Those parcels are listed on the attached resolution. They include well sites on Taylor Avenue, Mount Arbor, and Richards Road. They Taylor, Mount Arbor, and and Richards Road. Then we also include the property on Harlow, which is just down the street here, as well as the Frontage Road property. You will note that there are two parcels listed for Mount Arbor well site, and that's because that property has a split line in between the two sites. So the next steps in the process is we would be filing this information with HCD and requesting that they give approval for us to exempt this surplus land. And then we'll come back before council with plans for how the property would be either conveyed or developed. But this is the first step in a multi-step process to see those properties eventually developed into residential and commercial uses in the future. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay, I'm going to open up to the public. Anybody have questions, concerns regarding this item? Seeing none, I'm going to bring it back to the council. Vice Mayor, any questions, concerns?
No questions.
No. Paul, good job on this. I know those, the old, what do you call it, the the wells and all that stuff is an eyesore for a lot of residents, so it's an opportunity to build homes there and just have it all residential, and everything else that's vacant, we need to actually, this is a great step on moving forward to bring some commercial. But with that, thank you, Paul. Do you have a motion to approve resolution 2025-31?
Motion.
Second.
Madam Clerk, go ahead.
Mayor Ayon,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Cano,
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez, Councilmember Perez,
Aye.
motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on to item number 9, waive full reading and introduce ordinance number 2-2025, an ordinance of the City of McFarland amending Title 17 of the McFarland Municipal Code related to non-conforming uses. Mr. Saldana?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this is an item that we bring before you as an update to the city's current zoning ordinance as it relates to the view of non-conforming uses. The current ordinance that is being deleted was last updated in 1969, and so it is no longer really in conformance with practice or with case law or with state law. And so we're bringing before you a item to update that ordinance. We've essentially taken, excuse me, the ordinance that is utilized by Kern County, which was more current, and they set before you a process for recognizing non-conforming structures, non-conforming uses, and non-conforming lot sizes. And so the ordinance spells out
what the rules are pertaining to that, which is consistent with both state law and case law. It also provides or will provide for a process for the city to recognize non-conforming uses. So a non-conforming use, either building or use of land or lot line or parcel line, would be able to apply to the city to have their non-conforming use essentially recognized as non-conforming. This would then allow the city to track the actual use of that property and ensure that that the use, if it was ever discontinued, would be able to then return to whatever the underlying zoning ordinance or building code or what have you would be applicable. So with this tonight, we're asking you to introduce the ordinance for first reading and waive full reading of the ordinance. At the next council meeting, you will have second reading of the ordinance, and at that time, we will bring to you the process for how a property owner can apply for the recognition under this new non-conforming use structure. And part of that process would then again remove the sort of ad hoc process that we've been using in the past and make it a more formal process for property owners in the future. With that, I would request a public hearing and answer any questions that you have.
Yeah, I'm going to open it up to the public. If anybody has questions, concerns regarding this permit, non-conforming use. Seeing none, I'm closing the public comment at 6:36. Bring it back to the council. We'll start with Ms. Perez.
No comments, thank you.
Mr. Cano, Vice Mayor, questions, concerns? Only one question, Paul. This is just making sure that the recognition for, it's just for like a business license, et cetera, that for this use, right?
This is more of the use of the property and the building structures and those sorts of things. And it's not regulating. The business license would be a different type of ordinance, and we're looking at modifying the business license ordinance as well to make sure we have conformity with the types of businesses that are operating in the city.
Okay. Okay. So do I have a motion to waive full reading of and introduce ordinance number 2/225, an ordinance of the city of McFarland amending Title 17 of the McFarland Municipal Code related to the non-conforming uses?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Cano, second by Councilmember Perez. Madam Clerk, may I have roll call, please?
Mayor Ayon.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Cano.
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez. Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to administrative agenda. Item number 10, approval of resolution 2025-32, a resolution of the City Council of the City of McFarland, California, awarding a contract to Clifton Larson Allen, LLP, for professional auditing services and authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement. And we have our city manager / finance director, Diego Viramontes.
Whole lot of slashes around here. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. Before you is Resolution 2025-32, requesting approval to award a contract to Clifton Larson Allen LLP for professional auditing services for fiscal years June 30th, 2025, 26, and 27, with an option to extend for 3 additional years based on satisfactory performance. CLA has submitted the lowest responsible proposal at $193,678 for the 3-year term and was selected based on qualifications, experience, and cost effectiveness. Just for some background, CLA has served as the City of McFarland auditors for the past 7 financial statement audits, initially engaging with the city during a very difficult financial time. Their team played a critical role in helping staff bring the city into compliance and restore timely financial reporting. CLA has demonstrated patience and partnership through that process and has remained a steady and reliable audit partner. I would also like to note that Rich Gonzalez, the principal from CLA, is joining us remotely this evening and is available for any questions that council or the public may have on the firm, and I'm happy to answer any other questions that council or public may have.
I'm going to open up to the public. Do you have any questions, concerns regarding this contract with Clifton Larson Allen? Seeing none, I'm going to bring it back to the council. We'll start off with Ms. Perez.
No questions, thank you.
Vice Mayor?
No questions, just a comment, they've been doing a great job the last few years.
Yes. Is Rich on the line?
Yes, he is.
Can you hear me?
I hope he can.
Hi, Rich. Can you hear us? Sorry. Oh.
Perfect. Yes, we can.
Hey, Rich, it's Mayor Salayon. It's been a while since we've spoken. You want to introduce yourself? You want to introduce yourself, Rich? No. Yeah. No, absolutely. I know when I met you a couple years ago, you had a lot of hair, and after dealing with the city of McFarland, you kind of shaved it off. No, I'm just kidding, Rich. No, hey, Rich, I just want to thank you for having patience with with our team. I know about 4 years ago, it was there was a lot of material missing, a lot of things where you couldn't actually do your job as an auditor. But I know our team has successfully strengthened where they're actually on record time produced the all the audits this year, like within 7 months, and we've been caught up. Well, I want to say Diego's staff has been caught up and doing an excellent job. So I want to make sure that that we have the same information and we agree on it. Right. Okay. Well, Rich, I know it was very difficult the first couple of years, and I mean you've been with the city for 7 years, so you know through all the corruption that was going on. But I want to thank you for having the patience, and then obviously we were talking weekly as far as what wasn't being produced. But thank you for the company doing a good job and producing the items to the state so that we're caught up with our audits and we're able to get some grant funding that this city deservedly needed. But thank you, Rich, for the patience and just making sure that it's always how would you call it a funding audit company that is here for the people and not obviously for our city staff or anybody else, but just keeping everything honest and transparent. So with that, do we have a motion to approve the resolution?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Yon,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Cano,
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez, Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. I just want to add, Diego, I know that a lot of cities, municipalities are having trouble getting their audits done because of the short of audit companies. But Diego, thanks for sending this RFP. It saved the city $9,000, $7,000. It's hey, that's every time that you're renegotiating a deal, it's working perfectly for the city. Good job, Diego. So, moving on to item number 11, approval resolution number 2025-34, resolution of the City Council of the City of McFarland, California, approving a budget appropriation and authorizing a lease agreement with the Flock Safety to implement gunshot detection capabilities. We have Chief Knox to introduce the item.
Honorable Mayor and City Council, before you is a resolution to approve a budget appropriation authorizing a lease agreement with Flock Safety to implement gunshot detection capabilities. So historically, the City of McFarland has suffered from criminal street gangs and other violent activity. Many of these criminal behaviors include the use of firearms and specifically illegal firearms discharges. This type of criminal behavior endangers not only residents of McFarland, but also visitors and persons traveling through the city. To aid in the enforcement and prosecution of illegal firearms discharge, many companies have developed gunshot detection technologies. Gunshot detection uses multiple audio devices to pinpoint where gunshots originated. Officers can then be dispatched to a precise location and have a greater likelihood of identifying offenders vehicles involved, and addresses involved. Gunshot detection systems reduce the incidence of false alarms as they are designed to detect gunshots specifically and to ignore fireworks or other loud noises. This technology allows officers to focus on actual threats. With this equipment, officers will be more efficient in responding to firearms discharges, which will greatly increase public safety. Staff evaluated businesses that provide gunshot detection services, and the McFarland Police Department has identified Flock Safety as one of the leading gunshot detection services in the industry. Flock Safety attaches gunshot detection equipment to their license plate reader devices and surveillance cameras. Currently, McFarland has 32 Flock Safety cameras either in use or in the process of being installed within the city limits. Flock Safety would be able to add gunshot detection devices to many of these cameras to provide gunshot detection to the majority of the city. One aspect of gunshot detection that is unique to Flock Safety is the ability to pair their cameras with gunshot detection technology. This allows the system to take real-time photos of vehicles and people in the area when a firearm is discharged. Flock Safety systems also use databases to pair the vehicles identified near a firearms discharge with the same similar vehicles at other gunshot detection incidents. Flock Safety offers this service for $35,000 a year. Flock Safety requires a 2-year contract for this service, but also offers a 90-day evaluation period or opt-out period. During this trial period, we will evaluate the efficiency of Flock Safety system and make a recommendation to continue with the service or discontinue and investigate further options. The financial impact is $35,000 to be appropriated from the police department's fiscal year 24-25 budget within the general fund. Staff recommends that City Council adopt the resolution 2025-34, approve the appropriation of $35,000 for the police department's fiscal year 24 and 25 budget in the general fund, and authorize the city manager to execute a 2-year lease agreement with Flock Safety Gunshot Detections contingent on a successful 90-day trial period. And I have Kristen McLeod from Flock Safety online for any questions.
Is it Christina?
I'm sorry?
Who is it?
Kristen McLeod?
Hi, Kristen. Can you hear us?
Hello, good evening, Mayor and Council. This is Kristen McLeod with Flock Safety. Happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Yes, I'm going to open it up to the public first, see if they have any questions, concerns regarding this item. Anybody from the public have any questions regarding the shot spotter? From Flock, not shot spotter, but I want to say gunshot detection.
Yeah.
Christian, I'm trying to negotiate a better deal right here. Okay, I don't see anybody from the public council. We'll start with Ms. Perez.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say that I think it's a great thing that we have the Flock cameras right now because we have been able, or the police department has been able to solve some serious crimes. $35,000 is not a lot, to keep our people's safety here in the city. I think it's a good idea.
Thank you, Ms. Perez.
Thank
Vice
you.
Mayor?
I don't have any questions, just comments. I think it's an investment in keeping our residents safe. It's a great idea. Plus, Flock System has done a great job, especially with the cameras. And as Councilmember Perez said, it's a great thing.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The reason I brought this item up was I had a couple students. We had some shootings early in the morning. They're like always asking me, "Did you hear about what happened?" and all that stuff. And I remember in the city of Bakersfield, they had a lot of drive-bys. And so they put a similar system out there, and it really helped out with all the shootings. I know it wouldn't be a good idea to have it here in the 4th of July or the New Year's Day because it might be everywhere, but I think everywhere's there, but just on random days. But I think calibrating with our cameras and maybe with this, it should work. But you said it was only a 90-day trial?
Yes, 90-day trial.
Okay. Christian, is there any way we could do a 6 months trial?
work with your department and ensure that this is a right fit for your community. But unfortunately, we can't accommodate a 6 month pilot. But
How,
really appreciate you asking.
how about if we meet in the middle, 4.5?
I am being told that it's a strict 3 months.
5? Okay. I got a yes. 5 months. I heard a yes, right? No. All right. No. Thanks, Christian. Chief, anything else?
Just one incident in particular, a high-profile homicide here in the area with Oscar Oliva.
Is your mic on?
A high-profile homicide here in the area with Oscar Oliva. Gunshot incident happened at night. We didn't have anything to detect it. Officers didn't know and had to get told by a person who was nearby about the incident. So with a system like this, they could possibly identify that and maybe caught the people in the act.
Yep. Duly noted, Chief. Absolutely. With all that, do we have a motion to approve the 6 months?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by
Mayor Yon.
for 6 months. Aye.
Vice Mayor Cano.
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez. Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on to item 12, approval of resolution number 2025-37, a resolution of the City Council of the City of McFarland approving a community development technology service contract with GovWell, who's Ms. Megan Snyder.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. I am presenting Resolution 2025-37 and the associated service agreement with GovWell. This software will afford the city to move to an electronic format for all community development department. It will assist us in streamlining the process for building, planning, as well as licensing within the city. This solution brings many elements, but efficiency and transparency are the most crucial that we are in desperate need of. Currently, the city uses all manual entry and payment processing on site at City Hall and no project tracking or interfacing for the public. Please note this item was previously budgeted and is just a different avenue in which we are looking to explore. And I have included GovWell's Liam Shaw to our presentation tonight to give a brief overview of the software.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you all. My name is Liam, and yeah, I'm on the sales team here at GovWell. Do you just want me to hop right into it, Megan?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Yeah, well, thank you, and thank you all for having me. I could talk, for 2 hours and kind of go over every single thing in the system with GovWell, but I'm not going to do that to you all here on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. So, just going to go over a quick overview of the software and a little history about us. And then I'll show you a feature or two that I think Megan has pointed out that would be important to you all. So, go ahead 1 second. Great. So can you all see my screen in modern software for local government?
Can you expand? Is there any way?
If you could expand it, that'd be great. Oh, no.
Erica, if you close the participants, it'll make it larger.
I am in present mode. Can you all see it?
That's the biggest it's gonna be.
It is pretty much.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So yeah, sorry about that. So I mean, yeah, we are a software company. I think what differentiates us from others, and why we end up talking to a lot of places like McFarland City, is that we exclusively work with smaller municipalities. The reason for that is I think you're going to find a lot of these software companies, like the system's great, they all work pretty similarly. That's what people will tell you, but you kind of get the McFarland cities of the world kind of tend to get lost when there are San Francisco's and Los Angeles that exist. So as you can see, you guys would not be our largest customer, but you definitely wouldn't be our smallest either. So we're very focused on the smaller to medium-sized municipalities. Here are some of the different solutions that we offer, and we're obviously going to focus on the planning and zoning, building permits and inspections and the licenses. And at our core, we're a workflow management software. So the whole goal here is to get you guys off an antiquated system or paper for your different processes. We have a workflow established so that once an application or a complaint or something like that were to come in, these staff members would just go through the workflow step by step, and everyone can log in. It improves collaboration because anyone can log in at any time, whether it's a council member or someone that works in it every day. It doesn't really matter. Anyone involved with the town can be a user. That includes like third-party companies that you work with as well. So anyone can log in and check the status of any sort of application or process, as well as work from any device. So you see this iPhone right here is what it would look like to log an inspection via GovWell. So any sort of staff process that needs to be done can be done in GovWell. And then where I think we really thrive as well, not only on saving staff time, but it's going to be much easier for the citizens as well. So they'll have a portal that they can go on that they'll access from your website where they can submit building applications, planning applications, and business licenses, as well as renew them. So they can do that. They can pay for everything through there as well. They can track the progress of it. So as the staff members working through the workflow, the applicants being notified of that, letting them know like which step of the process they're on. And then something that I think that is very underrated about GovWell that's really going to help, especially the staff members, is the community has access to a chat feature on their end, on the portal, where they can actually go on, if they have a question about whether it's how the software works, a required document for a building permit, really any sort of question that you could think of, they can reach out to us via the chat feature. We have a 1 to 2 minute response time where we can get back to the citizen to help them out with whatever it is they need. And the reason I think that's so underrated, here you have some statistics on how those conversations go, but the reason I think it's such an underrated aspect of the software is because people don't truly realize how much staff time it saves when the phone just stops ringing at the office because the applicants are having all their problems dealt with already. So that's a key feature, as well as your planning and building departments having an integrated plan review tool where they can actually go on, make markups, add comments, whatever the case is, like whatever they need to do, they can do all of that, and a corrections report is going to be automated, sent right back to the applicant. So, and then another place where I think we stand out to others is just the configurability. We're going to work closely with Megan and Diego and whoever we need to get you all set up. But that's not to say that once you're all set up, you can't make changes on your own. So they can log in, they can change any sort of forms that are in the system, workflows, templates, reporting. All the reports can be automated. We can, if we're diligent enough during implementation. So the whole point here is just to save time for staff and community members, as well as just make things easier overall. So that's a quick overview. I'm just going to click over. This is what the staff side of GovWell would look like. We have all of our different modules over here on the left. It would be much less cluttered than this. We'd only be talking about building, business, and planning and zoning. And this is what it looks like from the staff side. You have all of these different building permits here. You can see them on the map as well. And if you click into each one, you'll see the key feature of GovWell, which is this workflow over here on the right. So this is going to be completely customized based on the application or license type that we're working with, and all you have to do is work through each step. As a staff member, whenever you do work through each step, the applicant's going to be notified as that's happening, as each step finishes. So when you send an invoice, they're going to get an email letting them know that payment's going to be required, and they can click into their GovWell account to pay that invoice. They also have an invoice automatically generated and attached to the email as well. So, and that's not only for invoices, that's for whenever these plans are reviewed, whenever an inspection is done, they'll get an inspection report automatically generated and sent to them. And then, of course, like issuing the permit, they'll have that automatically generated and sent to them as well. So, that's from the staff side. And then let me go ahead and pull up the citizen portal really quickly, just to kind of show you what it's going to look like. submit something. Here we have our demo environment, which is Gotham City. So, but these are the different modules. They'll have McFarland City right here. They can ask any questions. And then as they go down, they have all the staff information. And that chat feature, what I was talking about earlier, is right here. So they can reach out to us and ask any questions that they need to. And like I said, we get back to them in a minute or two, depending on the volume of that day. But very rarely do we have to sit. Every once in a while, we'll get a question that only someone in your department would know, or in the building or planning department would know, and we'll send them back to you all. But other than that, we can be very helpful through there. It's kind of like having an extra employee, basically, to answer all those questions. And yeah, from there, if we were to submit a building permit, we could click in, see all the different permit types. You click on one, you can see everything that's going to be required for that specific permit. And we help you put all this together during implementation. And yeah, this is how people would be submitting their applications online. So I'll stop right there. And yeah, I'm happy to show more or just to answer questions. It's really what this time is for you all. So yeah.
Okay. We'll start with the council. Do you have any questions, concerns regarding this proposed budget item?
I think it's a great idea. I haven't needed a building permit in a while, but I know my sister needed one. And the ladies at the front really didn't know what to give her. And through no fault of their own, they're not trained with that. So by having this available, I think it would be a great idea. My only thing is, how would we help our non-English speaking community?
Good question, Megan.
So it also has a translation element on the website itself, as well as when they come into, if you have individuals that are not tech savvy, if they come to the window, we can then help them walk through the portal, and it makes it so it's a very easy transition for the individuals at the front, our staff, to help them walk through the process, and it is available in English and Spanish. We can have translation to other languages as well if necessary.
Okay, thank you.
That's
it.
The same process on the staff side. They can come in and do the exact same thing for the applicant if they come in person.
Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I've previously working for an HVAC company. I would pull permits in other cities, and this was the system, or a system like this, and it was so convenient, so easily, accessible. And if you're pulling a permit, and if you're not from McFarland, you have to come into the town to pull it, for example, for contractors and stuff. So yeah, it's a great tool.
There are if you don't mind, I have a few additional things I want to reiterate from Liam's presentation. One, the third-party administration, because we have a limited staff, third parties are required for many elements. We are able to assign it within the portal, and we can see in real time when it was assigned to this third party and what their marks they have made. And then that way we can have accountability both on our staff as well as third parties.
Good.
And it will track for internal accountability as well as transparency to the public, so they know exactly where they are in their process and able to move their project forward in a timely manner, as well as regulatory compliance in regard to the reporting that we're required to provide for the state. Beginning the next fiscal year, we are required to submit a significant number of reports in regard to solars. That's one of the things we've taken an immediate need, and we've met that need to get us to this place, but we're looking for a more efficient solution, and it's also much better interfacing within our finance department. Diego sat on those calls. We also addressed it with Jonathan to make sure that it is a very simple process, to make it a streamlined process, not just for community development, but also for our finance department to ensure it's efficient for them as well.
Megan, have you used this well before, or just?
I have not. I will say I did an implementation with a previous city with another solution, and I vetted them according to my experience with that other solution. And I feel that they stood head and shoulders above the other competitors that I have explored, one of which I dealt with directly, and 4 others that I explored for the city of McFarland for other opportunities. Several of them Diego was able to sit with as well, and we've compared. We had everything from a large solution that's used by many other cities as well as the county, down to a grassroots startup that was willing to give us, first dibs at their R&D. But we've really explored all of the options, looked at the financial implications as well as the service for the public, and we feel that this is the best solution.
No, that's good. I actually want to hear from our senior city planner that's gone through this process before, the old school way they did it compared to this. So the platform is yours. So if you could give a breakdown from beginning to end.
Our current process?
Yeah.
Our current process is quite outdated. When I first started, we implemented a new program, Muni Permits, and then that still is very outdated. It's kind of like an Excel sheet, I guess you would say. The way we distribute comments back to applicants after you review is basically a Word doc. So this is a big difference from what we have right now. I know payments, like Gano said, a lot of the developers are from outside of McFarland. So to pay, they have to come into McFarland. So it's a little difficult. So with this system, they'll be able to pay online, so it'll speed up the process.
Okay. So this will actually be not only for the residents, but businesses and for obviously staff, and cut a lot of your time and see where everybody's at. I think it's a good addition. Do I have any comments, concerns from the residents regarding this? Dan? Go ahead, Mr. Vidamontes.
If I may add to staff's comments, another benefit of this system is, well, our current system on the finance side, it's a double entry system. So when we're processing building permits, or on the planning side, we utilize our outdated system to do the initial entry. Then on the finance side, we also do another entry to get into our accounting system. This new system would eliminate that double entry feature. The way they set up their export files, we can easily export out of this system and import into ours in a pretty quick time frame. So that's one other benefit to this. It just makes us overall more efficient.
Good. And that's on the finance, obviously on your side because of the bills are coming in. So, anything else, Megan?
No further comment.
Okay. You didn't want to give a first-year tryout for free?
Hey, Liam, the cards are on the table for you, sir.
I don't think he. Was it a 1-year tryout for free? See how it works?
I don't know. I heard the presentation before this. I feel like you guys have a salesperson.
I was hoping he didn't hear that. And you know why? Because we already got. Well, I don't want to say we got him a couple of times out, Chief. But anyway, no, I don't think he's trying to hear me.
I'm sorry. I'm catching like 50% of everything. So.
No, okay, thanks. Good job, Megan. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Mayor Yon,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Cano,
Aye.
Councilor Gonzalez, Councilmember Perez,
Aye.
motion passes.
Thank you, Liam.
Thank you.
Awesome. I appreciate it, you guys. Thanks for the time. And yeah, we're all looking forward to working with you. So we'll be in touch with Megan and Diego soon. I appreciate you all taking the time today.
Perfect.
Discounted rate, Liam. He's like, I'm not catching that. So he's like checked out.
I will say we already shook that tree, and as you can see on the agreement, you'll see the CEO discount because Diego and I discussed the disadvantaged community that we work in, and we're able to leverage some discount. So
I don't like disadvantage. More underserved.
okay, underserved,
Yeah,
sir.
disadvantage feels like we're a little bit but anyways, oh, good job. Thank you, Megan. Okay, moving on to 13, report, discussion and direction of the appeal of temporary use permit 2025-001, conditions of approval. Ms. Snyder.
Yes, good evening again. This evening, I'm presenting to you Resolution 2025-38 and Temporary Use Permit 2025-001 for the Cinco de Mayo Festival Appeal of Conditions of Approval. This TUP is in conjunction with TUP 2025-002 that is forthcoming on the next agenda item. The resolution, TUP, and associated conditions of approval were approved by the council on the most recent council meeting, April 2nd. The committee received the conditions on March 25th of 2025 and did not reach out to city staff with any questions or concerns on the conditions and was not present at the council meeting when it was presented and approved. The festival committee subsequently appealed the conditions of approval regarding condition number 24 that is in regard to the required security. The conditions, as approved, indicate a requirement of 20 security guards at all times of operation and 25 for peak hours of operation from 6 to 9:30 p.m. The festival committee indicated that the estimated attendance on Friday is 100 individuals, 150 on Saturday, and 1,000 on Sunday. Unfortunately, the estimated numbers are not supported by the data. City administration has received the attendance data from Placer AI that indicates 2024 festival attendance as 600 visitors on Friday, 1,200 on Saturday, and 6,000 on Sunday. Please note the conditions of approval were drafted in conjunction with the McFarland Police Chief and derived from hard data, previous year incidents, McFarland Police Department Special Events Policy, and in conjunction with the McFarland Municipal Code. Staff has determined in order to maintain public safety as paramount, we need to maintain the security as set forth and approve within the conditions of approval. It is our recommendation to maintain those conditions, but defer to council for direction on this matter and final determination for those conditions.
Now, they're appealing just the security, on the security?
Yes, they're appealing the security, and they have a question as far as the pass-through cost for staff time. So those two items, the appeal is directly in conjunction with the security itself, and then a question was posed in regard to if the costs that were listed within the conditions for the police time was going to be incurred by the city or by the festival committee. In years past and in other events for the city of McFarland as well as neighboring cities, those costs, staff time, are passed through to the recipient. We just recently had an event where police time was paid by the TUP applicant. So that being said, it's up to council. The appeal is directly in regard to the security, but that question was posed, so it's something else you can continue to address.
Okay. Do we have anybody from the festival committee here to speak on the appeal?
Good evening, council members and mayor. The last, like Megan was saying, the last meeting, we did get the TUP. I didn't read it. You know how they always tell us to read before you sign? I'm going to be forthright, and I did not read through it until afterwards. I was reading through it and then noticed that condition 24A and 24B said that we needed the 20 security officers, 25, just like Megan stated. I even reached out to the carnival because they're there the whole time on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And he also gave me those estimates that Friday was about 100 people, Saturday about 150. So I'm not sure where the 600 and the 1,200, I believe, was Saturday. I don't know where those numbers are coming from because I've actually gone Friday and Saturday, and there are no 600 people and 1,200 people on Friday and Saturday. So I'm not sure where that data's coming from. And so that was just a question, because on Friday and Saturday, the attendance is so low. There's not even very many vendors out there. Maybe there's two. There's no music going on. There's nothing. It's basically just the carnival. As a committee, we were thinking 20 security officers for that many people in attendance. It's just a lot of security for no people. There was a joke that there's been more security officers than people there. For Sunday, which is the big event, it stated that we needed 20, on 24A, it said 20 security officers and 5 police officers shall be on site at all times of operation of the carnival. And then 24B states that between the hours of 4 and 9:30 on each day of operation, 25 security officers will be required. So I was just, as I'm reading it, I was just confused if it's 20 or 25. So that was just the thing, especially for Friday and Saturday, because there is not very much attendance. And then on Sunday, we were hoping to bring down the security number of 20 if we are going to have assigned the sergeant and 5 officers, because before I don't think they were all any time assigned.
That's correct.
So they would help us, so we wouldn't need as many.
Okay. I'm going to open it back to Megan as far as to clarify the numbers, and then also to Chief whoever wants to go first, so.
As for the numbers, basically I used a AI, basically a geofence, which locates all of the cell phones in the area and gives them a amount of people that are in that area at a given time. So this isn't just at one specific time; it might be over the whole period. But it's a far cry, 6,000 from the 200 that was on the permit and the 1,000 that was actually predicted by the festival committee. So if I go back to last year, obviously we've been trying to do this since last year, and last year we had a non-professional security team showed up late. They weren't ready, had no communication devices, and that fell back onto the police department. The problem is when it falls back on the police department, we have to respond to calls for service and emergencies at the same time. So we can't staff the festival all the time. Yes, we were at this time going to allow one sergeant and 5 officers or 4 officers and a sergeant, and in supplement to your security. Again, if something happens, we need the security there to assist. So I can't say that I would recommend deleting or actually reducing the amount of security at this time.
Maybe this can kind of resolve Friday and Saturday. How about reaching out to the carnival and saying only open from like 6 to 9, so that you don't have to have that many security there throughout the day? And then, like you're saying, there's not a lot of people that go Friday and Saturday because there's no music vendors, but shorten it up in hours so you don't have to have that many securities for all those hours. You see what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
right now we have the contract, which is a different company than last year. We have three security guards for Saturday from 5 to 10. And then we have for Sunday, 12 security officers starting at 2 to 10. So 12 officers, 2 to 10 on Sunday. Saturday, 3 officers from 5 to 10.
What's that?
And then the carnival brings their own. They have one too.
For what?
Security for Friday,
No,
Saturday.
this is for this year, or are you
Yes,
talking about last
this year. For this
Okay.
year. To up it from last year. And it's Chief Knox was saying that they weren't professional. I mean, they were certified. We got them. But to answer what Chief Knox was worried about, we did talk to them, and they will have wands and they will have radios, because I know those were some of the concerns from last year's company. So they will have radios and they will have a metal detector wand.
Right. Okay. So there's a few more concerns besides that, obviously. So, they showed up late. They're supposed to be there. We need them there at noon when the parade starts. My people will be handling the parade, which is in conjunction with the festival, correct? But they showed up late. And so then I had to direct people to the gate because the gate was opened early. So that gate can't open early. If the security is not going to be there, my officers need to be out handling the parade, not at the festival. So that gate needs to stay closed. So those security need to show up at noon, not at 2:00.
Okay. We have, where last year we didn't, we do have people assigned for the gate starting at 10 a.m. We do have people assigned there, where last year as festival
security
committee, we
or
didn't
just
have anybody there.
Festival staff or security?
Festival staff.
Okay, we're going to need security there. We have a problem with that last year.
Okay.
They opened up the gates and we had some known gang members walking through the festival wearing complete red, which becomes a big issue in this area. And we had other gang members who were not wearing their colors who got in and were then following them around. So we're just waiting for a big incident to happen at that point.
So,
So our security
hold on,
will
Ms.
not.
Medina. I don't want to make this into a debate. Going back, this is why I wanted you guys to meet, or actually have a meeting separately, so this could be answered. What it comes down to is the amount of people that show up that day. That's the amount of security that needs to be there, present at the time. And I could speak on Chief's behalf. I was there at Sunday. the security didn't have the tools, didn't have a radio, and the reason I know is because I was sitting there when they jumped the fence, and they were just yelling at each other because they couldn't communicate. They didn't have radios, and they had just put on the shirts. So it's very important that these security companies, I mean, whatever event we got going on, have the right certificates and are certified, because at the end of the day, if something were to happen, it falls back on the city because we're approving those permits. And just one quick note that I want to make sure that everybody's aware of this, and I want Chief or Captain Olmos, he's not here anymore, but to explain what happened at Garlic, in the Garlic Festival a couple of years ago, as far as what the city was looking into, if the wrong security measures weren't there, right, or the right security measures. So
Right. So basically, we're trying to guard against a catastrophic event, right? We never know what could happen in any given time.
You never know.
Exactly. So, what basically happened at the Garlic Festival, which I've mentioned to the festival committee before, was somebody cut through a gate, and they went in and they started shooting. Now, this injured 27 people, killed 3 people, and ended up with 27 multi-million-dollar lawsuits against the city, which the city could not withstand.
Can't afford it.
Right? So the only thing that saved them was because they had the proper security measures in place for the event. And something that happened at that type of event could not have been predicted. And that is the only thing that saved the city from paying out millions upon millions of dollars.
Okay.
So, with that being said, we've been very fortunate the last couple decades here with nothing going on, right? And so
Since 2005, we've been putting on this festival.
yeah, just I mean, because it hasn't happened doesn't mean it can't, but and hopefully it doesn't. But what I brought up earlier was regarding on Friday and Saturday, as far as shortening up the time, so you don't have that many security for that duration of time. Is there any way that you could tell if the carnival saying, hey, only from like 4 to 9 or 4 to 8, even because there's no vendors there anyways. So instead of making it all day, therefore the cost of security won't cost you that much.
Right.
If you don't have that many numbers, you don't have to provide all that security on Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
Would that be reasonable to approach them and to go from there?
Right. I mean, the carnival works with us, so they'll help us in any way that we want. So then, so what are you suggesting? So with the three officers that we have, they'll be reporting 5 to 10. So 4. So do I tell them to come in
Okay, so how many security are you gonna have?
on Saturday? 3.
3 security?
3 security guards plus the carnival always brings one of their own.
And they're certified, so that
Yes.
this is for 1,200 people?
No, this is for Friday.
Okay, Friday, because
Right, Saturday. There's 100, 150 at one point. I mean, I don't even think there's that
if
many.
you're shortening up the time,
Yes.
that means more people are gonna be there at that time. You see what I'm, but throughout the day is when they all come separate times, when you're saying there's not more than 100 or 150 at that time. But if you shorten up the time, it would just mean more security, but for less hours. You can understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like, what time do you have it open on Friday? Just a perfect example.
The carnival is from 4 to 9:30.
Okay, so say you open it from 6 until 9, you're not gonna need security for like 2.5 hours. And then that's where we're saying is you'll have the officer and 4 or 5 security, whatever is needed, and then therefore it's the next day as well on Saturday. Just expand the hours on Saturday, but then obviously you have the security there, but you don't have to have the 20-something security on Friday or Saturday.
Right.
So if that's something that you can
Yes.
work out,
Yeah, so we can have the 3 security with less time. Instead of 5 to 10, we can bring it down.
yeah, bring down the time, but not the security. Bring up the security. You know what I mean?
Bring up the security, so instead of 3, have more?
Yeah, because you're gonna have more bodies there from that 3-hour span.
What are you suggesting? How many?
Well, if you had 1,200 if you had 600 on Friday, right?
We do not have 600.
No.
There is not 600 people there.
No, I'm not debating the data, but it's saying what the AI, with the cell phones that were there at that time, the way
Pinging, and probably houses around there.
they circled the area, but I couldn't explain. I don't know
Okay.
the AI system, but anyway.
Neither do I. Okay. Go ahead.
The way a geofence works, and they use it in AI, is they draw a fence, and it doesn't have to be like a mile wide. They can actually draw it around a facility or a park. And then they look at the amount of cell phones that have been in that area at that time. So that's how they do a geofence.
Okay.
Okay.
Council, do we have any comments, questions? Ms. Perez?
No, no comments.
Vice Mayor?
I mean, I've unfortunately I've never been there on a Friday or Saturday, but I think us as council members, we have different people, management from our city manager, chief of police, who kind of make those decisions for that purpose because they're the ones who are the experts. And I know Chief has been out there in the past Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, I mean, I think me personally, I've got to support whatever decision our chief makes. And I think if they feel that more security is needed, because then let me tell you, I would hate to be the person who tells you 3 security guards and you've got 600-700 people out there, and there's a shooting in the middle of that. And I know there's a lot of people there because I've driven by.
On Friday and Saturday?
And there's a lot of people out there. I don't know. I've never counted them personally, nor am I an expert in any of this information. But I mean, it's the decision based on what our chief of police and our staff is proclaiming. I mean, at this point, they're the decision makers.
Yes.
See, yeah, at the end of the day, we're trying to be reasonable and support the staff because they're the ones signing off on this, and if something were to something would have happened, it wouldn't be the festival committee that'd be in front of the courts. It would be us, the management, and I'm obviously hoping we want to have this festival. It's been going on for a long time. We just got to figure out on Friday and Saturday how could we work out the numbers for the security and how many people there, depending on that situation. Because obviously this is through their agreement. So if it's the funding mechanism, I don't know. But you know, for what you guys are, what's being offered out there, people attend concerts for $100. You guys put on like 4 bands. $2 is not bad, and everything else that comes with it. And so, if this, I mean, it's a pretty clear-cut answer. I know the work that you guys do and the music you bring and all that stuff, and that's expensive. But $2 per person, that is not much, especially if it's going to be security measures, because you guys are doing the work, bringing in these groups. I mean, it's simple math. $2 at the gate or whatever it is, people are still going to come because it's a good festival. And I think with that, it would help you with the security, and then would offset with the city as far as like having no potential liability. So that would be my recommendation as far as I don't know if it's a council, but just upping the security element. And we just had an event. We're willing to help as far as try to get some vendors out there to help you with the security element, as long as there's proper security out there.
So then just the question with the last part, where did I leave it? General condition 29 and 30, about the sergeant and the 5 officers. So this is only going to be for Sunday, I assume, or Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? So that would be, they gave us the total here. So that's an additional $1,533 per day. So that's another $3,000, $3,066 for officers.
It is for both days. My apologies. It is for both days, that total. However, I want to note one thing is the application stated that it was 4 to 9:30 p.m. and I did reach out to confirm those hours. And I'm hearing an earlier hour on the Saturday hours. When we were talking about the security, you mentioned 10 a.m. I want to say. So I want to
No, that's only on Sunday.
Okay, so what are the hours? Because the application states 4 to 9:30 p.m., which is also where
That was just the carnival.
Okay.
That was just the carnival. Okay. That's when the carnival runs, is 4 to 7. So on Sunday, the vendors start setting up early in the morning, 8 o'clock, and they start, selling at about 10.
So when is
So
the
we'll
gate
have-
going to open with
At
security
10.
present? Okay.
At 10.
10 a.m. and you're closing at 9:30.
Yeah, that's when things will start breaking down, yes. Because
what
everything's over, out by 10 o'clock.
And what about Saturday?
Saturday, it's 4, but we might push it up to 5 until the carnival. Because Saturday, Friday and Saturday, it's just a carnival. And on Friday and Saturday, we don't have people at the gate. But we'll have the security there. We're not charging to get in. It's only on Sunday when we charge an entrance
I
fee.
will say that the requirement as far as the gate is standing, and it is my recommendation to maintain that for security purposes. Because just because there's no bans on Friday, Saturday doesn't mean there's not still a present danger if somebody was to come with ill intent.
Yeah, no, there is the gate's up the entire time. The gate's up the entire time. There's just not anybody collecting money.
So
That's what
aside from collecting money, I just want to make sure that we're very clear that that condition must persist, in my opinion. The council can overrule me, but
With the
that's gonna-
security being there?
Correct.
Yes. At the door.
At the gate, right?
At the gate.
Correct.
And they're gonna have wands, the whole thing, Friday,
Yes.
Saturday, and Sunday. Gonna be-
That's what they told us, and they'll have radios this year. It's a whole different company. It's
Okay.
not the same company as last year.
So who's verifying that from the festival committee or anybody from our staff?
That they have that?
Okay.
Yeah, that they have that, yeah. That's what they've said. They haven't brought it to us to show it, anything like that. So that first day is when
You know
we're
what
verified.
company you?
It is, Pedro Security in Delano. Pedro Security Service in Delano. And they have a PPO number 121689.
Okay.
So, just to be clear, on Friday and Saturday, I'm upping it to from 3, because I have 3 right now.
Okay, so you have 3 and 4, and 3 and the 4th for,
The 4th carnival always brings one. They always have one.
so you have a total of 4.
4. Mm-hmm.
And what is required, what do we need, chief?
What we're saying, how many we're gonna be there?
The condition says 20. For Friday and Saturday, it just says.
Friday, 600,
It doesn't say the day, it just says the carnival hours. How does it say?
hold on for a sec. What's the requirement
All
per?
times of
for
operation.
25 per one person?
Yeah, so it's actually, for a low risk, it'd be 1 per 100 to 150. Which I think if we can, maintain the parameters we put in last year, we could call this a potentially lower risk event than years past.
For Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. So when we look at, Friday, I would look at 6. Saturday, I would want 10 to 12.
And that includes the officers that are gonna be there on Saturday?
And like I've said, there's a potential we might be called away. We don't have an abundance of staff.
Right.
So one of the ways we have to supplement that is with partnering with the state to try to get funding for some of that, if we can do that.
Ms. Medina,
And then we're paying for it.
what's it costing you for the security?
Security, they're billing us $23 an hour.
Okay. And that's regarding their rank or anything, just security is $23 an hour?
Mhm.
Okay. What's the total
The total right now is 3,000.
for security?
Mhm.
So if you have 7,800 people showing up within the 3 days, charging $2, I know you're not charging Friday and Saturday, but just say, and then for security, I mean, people are gonna recognize it's a need. It's a need.
Yeah, on Sunday, we're charging, we've upped it from $2 to $3 for the adults.
Okay.
Kept the kids at 1, just because they're kids.
Okay. Yeah, you can't go wrong with $3 for a concert, so, but, Okay, yeah, I think the recommendations from our staff is 6 on Friday, 10 to 12 on Saturday, and then the 24. Is that what we're looking at, plus the officers?
Yes, I believe that this says
20. 20. And that would be the recommendation, and then, we'll do our part to try to, help out with the security measures.
Okay, and I have the posters, so if you can put them up. And then I did want to talk about the Grape Festival. It looked like a wonderful opportunity, so if you will take over the Cinco de Mayo, because you guys did such a great job with the Grape Festival, it would be awesome. Because this is my last year, I'm not doing it anymore. So if you can put this up, this would be awesome. If you can just put it outside your city council. And I'd like to take the opportunity to, is this one in English or Spanish? All the people that are not McFarland residents, I see a lot of new faces. I invite you on the 27th especially. It's a wonderful community event, family, fun, oriented, the music, the dancing, school groups, dance.
Ms. Medina,
This is only for, you're gonna have to wait to, council comments.
or just public comment, okay?
I thought I was talking about all of this, Cinco de Mayo. So I was inviting everybody.
Yeah. Okay, is there anything to add? Anybody from the public have any comments, concerns regarding this event? Okay, go ahead.
Is all you need from me?
No, yeah, thank you.
Real quick, Martin Gutierrez, 487 Vernon Road. Just from the way it sounds, I would hate to lose this festival. I know that, like we said, I went to the Grape Festival, the run and everything, but I know that security is needed. I've been there since day one festival. I live close to there, but I do know safety is important. And but
So which one do you want? Do you want safety, or do you want to keep this event going, or do you want to have enough safety in case something would happen?
I want safety.
Let me just, because we've had this conversation not with you, but for 3 years. The police officers are there. If they get called out for services and we don't have proper security and something would happen, would you put your name on it as signing off and saying, oh, we just couldn't pay for security, and then the city's held to a big liability case?
Yes. No, I prefer safety, but I hopefully.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it where we're trying to provide enough safety. Maybe it's not needed, but at the end of the day, it covers everybody in the city. This is a great festival. It's a great festival for all the community residents. We just want to make sure we have enough safety there in case something would happen. Because at the end of the day, if something would happen, your guys, nobody's face is going to be out there besides the chief or the mayor, and saying, okay, you guys have a law enforcement background. Why don't you have enough security there, knowing you have this many people? And just think about it. If you have an attorney on the other end saying, look at the numbers. There's about 6,000 people on Saturday, and you have 5 security guards. It's very common sense. So when you come up and make a comment as far as you don't want this thing going away, none of us do.
No, I know. Yeah.
So don't make it like it is. You got the facts. You got the facts, right? How many people show up? I don't think they would make up those numbers. At the end of the day, it just comes down to the numbers. We want to help out. We are going to help out, and just to have the security there.
No, yeah. Hopefully. Yeah.
Okay.
People come together.
No, thank you. Thank you for your comments. Anybody else? Okay. No, I know. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve with the amendments?
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Cano, second by, go ahead. No, it's the first and second day. Nobody,
Saturday's 10 to 12.
okay, yeah, but Vice Mayor already motioned with the amendments of the changes. Okay.
Chief,
We'll go with 10.
No, we're gonna go with 12. We're gonna go with 12. We'll help out with, we'll get them help with the security. Okay? So the better, the
you want me
more the
to
merrier.
call the amendments?
Yeah.
Motion to approve with Friday 6 security guards, Saturday 12, and Sunday 20.
Second.
Okay. Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Yon,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Cano,
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez, Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 14, approval of resolution number 2025-38, resolution of the City Council of the City of McFarland approving the recordation of a temporary use permit 2025-0002. Ms. Megan Snyder.
Good evening. This evening, I'm presenting Resolution 2025-38 and Temporary Use Permit 2025-002 for the Cinco de Mayo Parade and Parking. This item is two portions of the Cinco de Mayo event that was not included in the original application. This TUP is in conjunction with TUP 2025-001 that was approved on April 2nd as discussed previous to this item. The TUP is for the the use of the Browning Road well site for event parking as well as for the parade. The parade route will proceed down north on Browning Road, and the staging area will be on Sherwood near Blanco Park. One of the most notable conditions is a requirement for temporary fencing to protect critical infrastructure of piping associated with the water well and the reverse osmosis plant that's currently on location. Staff time has been accounted for a pass-through cost to the applicant and for both the McFarland Police Department as well as Public Works Department to man the parade itself. Please note, as all conditions, that public safety will remain paramount and there is the opportunity to look at these conditions. Staff recommends approval for the resolution number 2025-38 and the recording of the temporary use permit 2025-002.
Okay. Do I have any questions from the public regarding item number 13? 14, sorry. Ms. Perez, go ahead, Ms.
Just for back reference, when we did the TUP the past 2 years, we did an application, and it was for the festival. It was for the Cinco de Mayo festival, which includes a parade. So I didn't know that. I don't know where I went wrong. So Megan pointed out to me on the first TUP that it did not include the parade or that parking. So that's why I had to do another application to include the parade. It was first time that I had to do that. So just for clarification. That's it. It's exactly the same as we've used for 20 years. Same route.
So, Ms. Dina,
Yes.
are you guys charging it for that parking?
What parking? Oh, on the side?
Yeah.
If we have people that gate it, to man it.
Okay.
If we have people to man it, yes, up to a certain time. But if we don't have people to man it, then no, it's free parking.
Okay. And go ahead, Ms. Snyder. What did you bring to the table regarding that parking there?
So we have and your lease could possibly give a little bit more insight, but we have a pretty significant cost for the current infrastructure that's there to protect the well site and the reverse osmosis plant and the piping that's associated with that. If we do not put something there, it's very plausible option that a vehicle could run into that piping and cost the city a significant amount of money and loss of the use of that well in the interim of getting it repaired. So the thought process behind it is to protect that by putting a hard barrier in place to ensure that nobody is to run into it.
Go ahead, your list.
Yes, Mayor, as Megan mentioned, there is a discharge piping that's about 6 inches off the ground, so it's hard to see if you're pulling up with the vehicle, and obviously we want to avoid anybody driving or hitting that discharge line because that will make our reverse osmosis unit unoperable because that's what discharges to the sewer line. So.
Is that piping's outside, correct?
Correct. Where the parking is proposed to be.
Yeah. Okay, Council, do we have any questions, comments? We'll start with Ms. Perez.
No questions, thank you.
Vice Mayor?
There's already a fence there.
No, it's not fenced in.
Is that parking, oh yeah, it is gonna be needed, right, for that event?
Is there
Thinking
anything,
out loud.
is there anything, Yurlis, that it's the city property, right?
Correct.
And we know how much it's costing us now to treat that well. It's $100,000 a month. It's 1.2 million a year. Is there anything we could do and put as a barricade? I mean, I know it's 2 weeks away, but
We have A-frames, but like I mentioned, if there's a car that hits an A-frame, it's gonna plow right through it. We would like to see some kind of physical barrier. It doesn't have to be a chain link fence. Or someone monitoring that fence with the barrier or helping park the cars to make sure they don't hit that line. We just want something to protect that line and make sure it doesn't get damaged.
have you looked at a cost figure for just renting something out?
To getting the chain link fence installed on our end,
Not installed, but just some other kind of barriers so you know,
I think chain link fence would be the most cost effective. If we get any concrete barriers or other kind of plastic barriers, it would be more expensive. I think fencing panel would probably be the cheapest cost.
and we just had that installed, like 6 months, a year ago, right?
Correct.
Go ahead, Ms. Perez.
Is anybody parking there right now? I know with soccer games and all of that, how's that being taken care of?
Not
No?
that I'm aware of. Well, I don't
I think,
come down during the weekends, but
no, they utilize that parking.
okay.
I think we need to have something up as soon as possible because the Parks and Rec is utilizing that parking because it's their park, but it's our structure, you know? So it's a big issue because of parking down that street as well. Yeah,
So we're talking about the Parks and Rec uses the dirt field. That's the city's property for parking. Okay.
yeah. And they've been utilizing, I mean, every day they have soccer games and they're parking out there, so. I think for the meantime, we gotta move on putting a barrier out there because of the cost of that. So, and I think that's just eliminate parking, but it's gonna protect that infrastructure. But since this, I mean, we need to have something up at least in the next, as soon as possible. So, I think we could amend that, so, because, or we just either block it off completely, and then the Parks and Rec could pay for it. So, it's an added piece, because they're the ones making the funding from the park revenue, so we'll figure something out. Thank you, Megan, on that. I mean, especially, sometimes when things happen, that's when we try to address something, but I'm glad that you pointed that out, because it's a costly infrastructure, so. At this point, the city will take our steps to try to get that addressed before this event or anything's out there. So, until we get something out there, at least maybe we could put some kind of block so we get some kind of barrier.
Yeah, we'll put some barricades to kind of highlight that area to make sure nobody hits those frames, but we can get 10 fence out there fairly quickly. So.
Okay, good deal. So
So
go
I
ahead.
want to clarify that the city will provide the fencing
Yeah.
in perpetuity until the piping is removed. And in conjunction with these conditions, all other conditions that were set forth will be applicable, with the exception of the fencing.
Correct.
Okay.
Any questions, concerns from the public regarding this item? Anybody from the council? Vice Mayor?
No.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-38?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Ayón,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Gano,
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez, Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. Moving on to item 15, approve a resolution 2025-36, a resolution of the City Council of the City of McFarland approving resolution 2025-36 and the recordation of the temporary use permit 2025-0003. Ms. Megan Snyder?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. I believe this is my last item for the evening, so I appreciate you bearing with me. This evening, I'm presenting Resolution 2025-36 and Temporary Use Permit 2025-003 for an off-the-charts event. We were contacted by Off the Charts team requesting a TUP to host a 420 event at their facility on Saturday, April 19th, 2025. Carlos and his team provided the requested information promptly. The event will be held from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. and will resume traditional business hours immediately following the event. The OTC event is anticipated to see 600 attendees throughout the duration of the event, but roughly 80 to 100 at any given time. OTC has agreed to the 23 conditions of approval. The most notable conditions are to be met with public safety in mind, providing for California registered professional security guards with specific assignments throughout the entirety of the event. At the entry of the storefront, cannabis affiliated, and one of the other items is at the entry of the storefront, cannabis affiliated prizes, promotional items, and or giveaways will require proof of photo ID to be scanned. No alcohol on the premises and no use of cannabis products will be used on the premises. Off the Charts has had a previous event at their location last year without incident and in accordance with the conditions set forth. As previously indicated this evening, all TUP applicants are advised that public safety will remain paramount and that the City of McFarland Municipal Code 12.21.100 subsection B gives the city the ability to terminate an event should a need arise. Staff recommends approval for the resolution 2025-36 and the recording of the temporary use permit 2025-003.
So they agree with all 23 items?
They are.
Okay. I'm going to open up to the public. Anybody have questions, concerns regarding this agreement or this tough agreement? I'm going to close public comment. I'm going to bring it back to the city council. I'm going to start with Ms. Perez regarding this agreement.
My only concern is the traffic that passes by there. I live close by, and that's usually my means of transportation. And I've had to kind of weave out because people driving out of there, for some reason, because it's on a curve, it's really hard to see people sometimes. But that's my only concern is the traffic safety there.
So that is one of the conditions. Condition number 18 is traffic control will be enforced to ensure traffic flow is consistent and they cannot impede traffic, public safety, or emergency services in any way. So I encourage you to contact the chief of police or the police line directly. You can call chief, I guess, but contact the police and let them know because that is a condition that they must meet, and we are able to terminate if it becomes such an issue that is public safety. Our municipal code indicates that we are to give them one verbal warning, and then if the issue or the safety issue that is present is not remedied, we are able to terminate the event. And that they can appeal it, but the event will be over at that time. So if there is a safety concern, please do let the McFarland Police Department know. But that is something they have agreed to.
Thank you, that's it.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
No comments.
Yeah, I have no comments. They agree with all, and we have the ability to terminate it if they're not complying with it. I'm good with that. So do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Perez, second by Vice Mayor Cano. Madam Clerk, may I have roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Yon,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Cano,
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez, Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to item 16, review and discuss city council applications. Ms. Erica De La Cruz.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. On April 2nd, 2025, the McFarland City Council has approved an extension for the application period, with the new deadline set for April 11th, 2025. At this time, only one individual by the name of Martin Gutierrez has submitted his application for the vacancy. I would also like to mention that the candidate is here today. The council may review the submitted application and determine the next appropriate steps, which may include scheduling interviews or making an appointment. It's also important to note that the 60-day deadline for this process is April 20th, 2025. If the council has any questions, I'll gladly answer them.
Council, do we have any questions, concerns, before I open it up to the public? Ms. Perez?
I have no questions.
Vice Mayor, no questions?
Well, I think, can we
Yep.
bring Martin up?
Yep.
Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon. Good evening. My question is, are you up to date of where the council is at? I mean, there's so many different I mean, I just haven't seen you in our council meetings.
Recently, not up to date based on like coming on a month-to-month basis, but I'm kind of up to date of kind of what you guys have been doing, like like you guys said, road conditions, public safety. But what would you mean? Just to attend the meetings?
Yeah, because we have 2 meetings a month.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And as residents, of course, because we're council members, we're also residents.
Yes.
One of the interesting parts is a lot of residents will ask us, well, why aren't you guys, why haven't you guys put a gunshot detection? Well, we just approved it tonight, right? So that's important, very important to attend our meetings. So when I ask that question is, there's a lot of things happening and going on in the city and council. So my question is, have you been attending the meetings? Because I mean, I know we've seen you in a few.
Just a few.
Recently, correct. I know you said once a month, but we do have meetings twice a month.
Yeah.
And they're on a Wednesday, yeah. So, that's my only question.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Perez.
I apologize. I thought you were gonna, it was just a general question, but I do have questions for you. I'm glad that you applied. My concern, you say you are a coach.
Yes.
Sometimes it's not just 2 meetings a month, it could be 4 or 5 meetings a month, because we do have special meetings. We have closed session meetings, subcommittees. So just want to let you know that it is very busy. And like I said, I know you are a coach and you're very dedicated to your players. I just want to let you know that. Okay.
No, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Gutierrez, I got a couple questions for you, so if you want to get some water, you know what I mean? Or
No, go ahead.
Okay. What specific skills, experience would you bring to strengthening the progress of our city?
Well, my skill is just like all 3 of you guys. I've lived here my whole life. I want to be, I guess, a new voice. I guess that's because most of the people, I guess you guys know me, but a lot of the city knows me. I just want to try to bring a new voice. I know that you guys do hear what we have to say, but experience, I'm ready to learn from you guys, from whatever I could get from you guys. But from experience from public service, I don't have any yet. But I just want to be, actually, what I wanted to say is I want to be part of the team of the growth of McFarland. Kind of like, because like you said, I know what was going on 7 years ago. That's something that nobody wanted to be part of. I want to be part of, I guess, this city council. Gaining positive experience.
Yeah. You go Martin or Mr. Gutierrez?
Martin.
Okay. I mean, when I'm talking about a skill set,
Yeah.
right? Ricardo, the vice mayor, is more of a community engagement. Ms. Perez is a little bit more of a silent person. I'm a straight shooter. I'm going to call it as I see it, whether you like my approach or not. So what kind of skill set would you bring to this council?
Also, probably community engagement. Usually, I'm not even a full-time teacher, and I usually get people asking me questions. Hey, so what's going on with this? Let's go. And I lead them to the right direction, or even with the Parks and Rec, because I am a coach. So I think just public engagement or even public involvement. I'm hoping that I could bring more people to the meetings to try to get involved here.
What did you mention about the Parks and Rec?
No, that I'm also a coach. So when people have a problem with like the park, they for some reason they ask me, even though I'm not even part of the Parks and Rec.
You get answers from the Parks and Rec?
I in the last couple of years, I don't even handle any business with them because I'm not a Sunday league coach anymore. But I used to. I used maybe 3-4 years ago. I would go in there myself to try to get questions answered.
Okay. Now that we've corrected the past managements across the board, and I'm not just talking about the roads, I'm talking public safety, city management, attorney, city finances, audits, what can you bring to the table? And I understand you want to be part of the because there's been a lot of work. I'm talking, Ms. Perez was kind of downplaying about 5 meetings. I probably average about 40 meetings a month, and that's not even phone calls. What can you bring to the team, to the council, besides, community engagement? And that we don't go backwards with the mismanagement that we've had.
Probably what I could bring is, like I said, I try to bring voices from citizens that are not heard. Like I said, I live on the east side. Luckily, I've seen a lot of like police involvement, but I want to bring concerns from, like, hopefully directly from citizens to the council, to the city. I know that sometimes some residents in McFarland don't like to speak up, but I want to try to be that voice for them. Probably be, like, I know you already said not citizen. I want to be that. I just want to bring a new voice for our most citizens that are not heard.
Yeah, and I was there nervous, just like we're having a conversation. It's not everybody's a citizen, so residents pay taxes as well. So I like to just say we're all residents. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, but what do you think are the most challenges we have right now as far as the city, and how can we overcome them? It's a two-part question.
No, I know. One of the things that I've noticed before is just continuing to make our chief job a little bit easier. It's never easy, but I grew up during some hard times in our city, like in the 1990s, like I said. And I seen a lot of things happen with my own eyes. I lived down San Lucas and Kern. I just think a big challenge is keeping McFarland safe. I know that all this new stuff that's coming along, hopefully it makes it easier for them. But I want to make it like if people are proud to live in McFarland. I know that a lot of people leave McFarland. I haven't left. I've been here my 44 years. But that's like the biggest challenge was safety, or just continue to keep it safe.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I mean, public safety, but finances, infrastructure,
No.
whatever you think is a priority, but public safety, obviously, because of quality of life,
Yes.
I know I've asked you this before, is like, why didn't you run like all of us have ran, and we campaigned, and we did all that stuff, we spent money, you know what I mean? Why should this just be an appointed position for you? You know what I mean? Give us that not that answer, but your opinion as far as why should we appoint you?
Okay. I've always wanted to be part of local government. Just recently, I just went back to school. I'm done. I was done in December. I told them I finished my master's. I didn't think it was the right time. Even sometimes at this point, I didn't think it was the right time. But some people like send me messages. They like, hey, there's a vacancy. You should apply for it. And the first time I hesitated, like I told you before. But the second time, that's why I even I go, you know what? I listened to the meeting from 2 weeks ago. I was here with the girls soccer team. And when the boys were here, I did listen that there was no vacancies. And then I guess people were messaging me again. Like, hey, put in your application. It's your time to try it. I even told people, if it's not my time, if somebody else was to apply, I guess the next election cycle, I was going to try to make it my time. But if it gets me hopefully a little bit of experience before we get to the ballot, I decided that it was the right time to do it right now.
I got a question about that. I mean, what people are telling you to apply?
Just
if you see it, if you see a lot of positive positive progress going on with this. Do you think it's people that their families were terminated by the city, or?
To tell you the truth, my family has been the only one that has told me directly. I've heard a couple of people tell me, but it's on the side. I don't listen to too much people from the outside. It was mainly my family, my wife. My wife told me, my wife's here, she's like, if you're ready for it, go ahead, I'll support you. It's more or less just my personal decision, not my family and my personal decision to do it.
Yeah, and the reason I'm asking that is that you shouldn't have people trying to motivate you, or I don't even want to say manipulate you, but you say, I want the position. I should be attending these city council meetings, especially since this position was open, you know, so. You previously stated, what really bothered me is you previously stated, you said that the east side was neglected. And if you would have been paying attention the last 4 years, you've seen how much we've addressed the east side.
Okay.
Not only with the infrastructure, but the flock system, the community garden. And I really took that personal because I am from the east side, and it's like our council is.
Yes.
And I don't think we're trying to neglect or forget about any kind of side because we all represent the city of McFarland. So to me, it's like, why would you even make a comment like that? But if go ahead and try to explain yourself.
Okay, my explanation to that was on representation, directly representation, not that you're neglecting them by what's going on, but like personal representation. Like I said, there's like the Parks and Rec Board, the school board, the city council. That's what I meant.
Okay, but do you see how?
I see how you guys the improvements on the east side. Yes.
But Marlene, have you seen that when we drew out that map, it's across the city. It's not one area.
I know
You see what I'm
exactly.
saying? And when Ms. Perez or somebody else has that area, nobody looks at their district.
No,
The
I
only
know.
reason we went to the district is because of the potential lawsuit. Because we all represent our city, and no matter where you live, etc. That's the thing that there shouldn't be a separation about districts and stuff like that. I know it is because of the potential lawsuit with that foundation, but at the end of the day, it's like it hasn't been the last 5-7 years. It's been 30 years of this mismanagement and other stuff happening. You know what I mean? So just and as a council member and mayor, before we make comments, you got to realize that could be potential litigation. If I say something, you best believe I have the receipts. So if I call somebody corrupted, or I have the receipts, because I'm just not going to put the city in that bad situation. You know what I mean? So I know Mr. Cano spoke on the east side and sort of Ms. Perez, but it doesn't matter what side you grew up on. I think we all represent McFarland. We try to represent the McFarland the best we can. So one of my last questions is, how would you ensure this transparency and we continue this transparency with the city? You know, because no other entity has live stream like we do. And what I mean by entity is the school district or the Parks and Rec. We have council meetings. We have invoices that show where's our money going and where's it coming, where's it being delivered every 2 weeks. And this is perfect about live stream because if you can't make it and you're busy for a week or you're sick, you go back on and check out what's going on with the city. So how would you improve that transparency? How would you continue that? Besides, because you're never gonna make everybody happy. You're always gonna say somebody's always gonna say this and that and that. You know what I mean? So, in a perfect situation, and you're in, right? You made a comment where it was kind of divisive, where you said, "Well, I want this to go on," but you already had the chief, and with 33 years of experience, and Megan introduced why we need to have security, and you as a council member to try to challenge it and make the chief or somebody look, I don't want to say incompetent, but bad when they did all their work, and they're not trying to be, we don't want this because we don't want it for the McFarland residents. They're doing their job, and it's not our job to undermine them, because what are they going to say the next time? I can't do all this work, and I'm going to have a council member or mayor undermine my position. So you, as a person that's going to make these decisions, it's not good, or I want to say reasonable, to say, yeah, I want to have this festival. We try to resolve problems, and that's what I was trying to say. Well, how much is needed for security, because we want to meet that criteria so the city is not potentially liable. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And this is where, when you sit up here, it looks a lot easier from over there, but you're always going to try to do the right thing for the city.
Exactly.
So in that situation, it kind of shocked me, because I understand what she might be thinking, or I don't know what she's thinking. I could just you can't argue against math, right? You can't argue against any of that because it's numbers. So if they're telling you this is what's needed because this is state law, we're not trying to be mean. We want to continue this festival, you know. But people get their feelings hurt for whatever reason, and it's not that. At the end of the day, this is what's going to save the city from a major lawsuit. And I'm be clear cut with you. We've been so fortunate the last 20 years that nothing happened because we probably wouldn't get an insurance because we wouldn't be able to afford it because somebody might have got killed. And people don't understand common sense. So that's what I'm trying to relate to you is that, or convey this message. Like when your staff is doing their work, it's hard. It's very difficult to please somebody, and they're trying to do their job at best because that's their job. They're not trying to be mean to somebody, but us as a council, we understand we got to basically mitigate that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's the thing that right now I really don't know, Martin, as far as like what direction I would want to go because something that small should, my personal opinion, should have you came up and said, hey, security's needed. It's cool to continue, but it's good to have a resolution or try to solve it because we should be problem solvers, not say, well, we want to keep this festival because it's been great. Okay, it's been great, but at the end of the day, we need the security measures, and some people don't. It just doesn't resonate with why would they even think of that it's not needed. Yeah, and they could say it's never happened here, but how about if it does? So, this is the last question that I have is, if you had the opportunity to run in 2026, are you going to run?
Yes, I will.
Okay. I'm going to ask the council, or do you have any questions or concerns? Do you have anything to add, Martin, before?
No, maybe just a little bit. I'm here to help whatever we can. Listen to the experts. Obviously, we have a lot of experts here.
Well, we're not experts.
Yes.
They're the experts.
Yes, that's fine. We have the experts.
No, that's fine. Look at experts.
Yes.
Experts.
Yeah. That's why
we're just the messengers.
Yes.
So, but go ahead.
Yes. I just want to listen to the experts, guide the city in the right direction, continue to guide the city in the right direction, and try to do what's best for the city. It's always what's best for the city.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Martin, for coming up in time and your interest and stuff like that. At this time, I want a motion to table it until we have Ms. Gonzalez here because she'll be the fourth to make an input and have a decision on that. We're gonna table it, have a special before the due date. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who first, Maria?
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
Motion to table, Vice Mayor Connell second. I have Ms. Gonzalez be present. She had an emergency,
Okay.
so she couldn't be here. And then we're gonna table it until then.
Okay. Mayor Arion,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Cano,
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez, Councilmember Perez. Aye. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gutierrez, thank you, Erica. Okay, moving on to public comment. Members of the public wishing to address the council about any item not on the agenda may do so at this time. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes for each person. 15 minutes total will be allowed for any one subject. Please state your name and address for the record prior to making a presentation. Do we have anybody?
Yes, we have Alma Delonic. I think DeLeon. Sorry, and then we also have Maribel Gutierrez.
Oh, they took the mic from you, Maribel.
Claribel,
There-
sorry. Oh, what did I say?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First of all, I'd like to congratulate everybody for the great festival, but I'm a little biased here. I'd like, she didn't know why I was coming, but I want everybody to stand up with your permission that was involved in the great festival and give you guys a round of applause because I was really, really impressed the way everything came out.
Well, we're waiting for the whole city staff.
Yes. Because I know she didn't do it by herself. There was a lot of people involved.
Chief? Serena?
Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you for your comments.
And that brings me to my presentation. Well, good evening. It was a long meeting, but I do, Clarabelle Gutierrez with Assemblywoman Dr. Jasmine Baines. And I know that I got caught up in another event that day, but I know that I came by and the participation of the residents of McFarland and the first annual great event, it was amazing. So I do have a certificate of recommendation for the city of McFarland for your great festival's inauguration because everybody was telling me that it was amazing. So today it confirms my missing in the good action. So I have a certificate for you guys because you guys made it happen. So if it's okay to take a picture for those that participated in the committee, thank you. Ándale, chica, sin pena. Ándale, Mayor. Can you Are you the chairperson? Yes. Yes. Sin pena, échate para acá. Maybe later, but right now.
Erica, you unplug it? Erica, you unplug it?
Who's missing?
Chief needs to go up there. Diego, yearly. The entire city staff. All our
Oh, wait, we're missing. There you go.
Too many more years of great festivals.
So to the Grape Festival, I hear you guys are taking on the Cinco de Mayo. Congratulations.
Okay. Do we have anybody else for public comment? Seeing none, I'm gonna close public comment. I'm gonna have council comments. We'll start with Ms. Perez.
Thank you. And I'm really not that quiet. Yes, I want to say that the Great Festival was a great event. I was there a little bit late, but because I have other duties, I also work for the migrant program through KCSOS, and I was at the high school, which gave me the opportunity, a great opportunity to watch the runners run by there. That was really nice to be able to put some music out there for them and just root everybody through. I saw Yearlies. I have a picture of you, Yearly, so I'll share that with you soon. I want to say also thank you to Mr. Ayon for just having those great contacts, especially with our Caltrans. If you've noticed our highway, it's clean right now. It's beautiful out there. I've noticed it because I walk. And speaking of walking, I always take that path through the community center, the garden, and there's always somebody out there keeping it clean. It looks immaculate. And I want to thank Mr. Garza for just being here and interpreting and also taking pictures. You do a really good job, not only here, but at school with the students. I like the way you built the report with them. I know I'm taking a little long, but I want to wish everybody a happy Easter. Hopefully those of you that are getting some rest right now are taking advantage of it. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Perez. Vice Mayor?
On my council's comments, I would like to apologize to the Grape Festival Committee because I was not here. I visited my daughter in Davis, which was a great opportunity. But you guys, I've heard great things about it. It was a great event, and I also, I have a raffle here for those that did the well, I'll read it. We want to thank those who came out to our Grape Festival and took the time to stop by at our city survey booth. We were collecting data to better understand this community needs, and we'll be using that information to facilitate future funding opportunities. Thank you to CSUB students who came out and ran the booth. We also offered a raffle for the survey participants, and we'll be drawing that winner's name tonight. They will be winning a Mi Rancho Market $50 voucher. I hope I win. I'm just kidding. Mr. Ayon, would you like to pull the raffle ticket?
All right.
Saul Ayon.
Oh my God. Angelina F. She might be one of my students. Their number's there, so.
We'll be contacting you, or our city clerk will be contacting you, Angelina, for your $50 voucher for Mi Rancho Market.
Okay. Thank you, Vice Mayor. I like giving credit to the people that think of great ideas. I don't like taking the idea myself. This great festival about 2-3 years ago, I want to say it was our barber Victor Oropesa that said, "Why don't we have anything? Why don't we have anything with lowriders?" I'm like, I don't know. He was like, a festival. Wasco has this. Taino has that. I'm like, yeah. And so people ask me why did I pick grapes? Some people ask almonds, and I said because 90% of us worked in the grapes, either growing up or our family. And grapes could go through anything. They go through droughts, floods, and they still survive. If they don't make it as a grape, they could be wine or raisins. So, but yeah, it was a very successful event. Residents were impressed. I mean, it was our first time, but I think when we all put our brains together and roll up our sleeves, contacting vendors, contacting sponsors, donors for everything, and it was kind of shocking how many people were upset that we didn't ask them to be sponsors or donors. I said it's never too late. Crack that check. You know what I mean? So, yeah, just sign it. So, I think this is huge for our community, regardless if it's a Cinco de Mayo or New Year's or not even New Year's, 4th of July. We want to make sure that security is a priority for everyone because at the end of the day, we don't want to see anybody hurt. So if we're asking people for security requirements or anything possible, we had staff out there, and like I said that day, none of it was paid from taxpayers' money. Everything was donations and sponsorships, and sometimes when you actually just work a little hard, you can get a lot of things done. But when you wait for the last 2 weeks to do something, it's kind of hard to get some funding. But I want to give a big thanks to our city staff who played a big role in this event. Everybody, especially our community development department, Megan, Brianna E., Jordan, Melissa, Diego, having that team unity, the culture, and everything else, and just being out there. I know you were looking like a lobster. I kind of joined you there too. I didn't prepare myself. I was hurting that day. Everybody, your hard work, you guys' dedication. I always tell people it's not us, it's not me, it's the council. The city staff that does all the work. We're just the messengers. Continue to do this and bring this city forward. Thanks, Chief, and the entire police department, and even some people from Marvin came, and the security. I want to thank the Royal Rangers from Delano Lifehouse. They were out here. They did the pledge. I can't remember the little girl that did the national anthem. Sanda, spectacular. She could sing, but all the events, everything was good. Obviously, when I go back to school, all the students are going to be talking about the smashing of the grapes and all the different. And believe it or not, I have my son in the face painting, and these girls are like, "Oh, he's up there because he's the mayor." I'm like, "Geez, I can't catch a break." You know what I mean? I was waiting in line. So, but I'm like, let me get out of this line. But yeah, no, I want to thank everybody, and especially the residents that came out and had a good time. Thanks all staff for all the hard work and continue. I know we're gonna have some obstacles here and there, but I think just working together and us supporting you for the work that you do, I think that just goes a long way. But that's what in my council comments, and some of your troopers being here are the 2 hours relax, hearing some of the city business. But other than that, that ends our council comments, and now we're gonna move on to reports from city council. Special districts. I had LAFCO meeting before this meeting regarding some annexations. I wasn't able to finish the meeting because we're starting here at 6. we need either for the next council meeting, start either change the dates or the date or the times, because it's important that we still represent our city in the county and stuff like that. So we need to put that on the agenda for the next meeting, either the dates or the date or the times.
We have, the initial meeting planned as a special meeting, so we'll try to move that up
And
here
then-
shortly.
Okay, and then we could actually move it to this, yeah.
Right, that other item that we're
Yeah.
tabling.
Yep. Okay, perfect. Now, moving on to council statements and reports on their own initiative, council members may make a brief announcement or a brief report on their own activities. In addition, council members may ask a question of staff for the public for clarification on any matter, provide a reference to staff or other resources for information. Alternatively, request staff to report to the city council at a later meeting concerning any matter. Furthermore, the city council or a member thereof may take action to direct staff to place a matter of business on the future agenda. We'll start with Ms. Perez.
Thank you, Mayor Yon. Just like Mayor Yon said, thank you to the whole staff. You guys are amazing. You just are all very dependable, approachable. You get on it right away, no questions asked. It's just really good to work with all of you, including the chief and your staff. So thank you again, and thank you to everybody that came to our meeting. We are always looking for ways to improve, and there's open communication here. The interviews, all of that. That's just like Mayor says, for transparency. And thank you, those of you that are here present, and those watching as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Perez. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, definitely. I want to thank everybody for their hard work, all our city staff. I know management gets to thank you, but everyone out there, every single staff member that puts together these events. We just had the State of the City, then we had the Great Festival, and it just continues to be busy. For example, we have our National Day of Prayer, May 1st, 6 a.m. for those that would like to attend. But I kind of want to add something to our conversation about safety. I attended this past weekend, UC Davis's Picnic Day, which is a big event, and it's well prepared, well organized. Unfortunately, there was a shooting where 3 people were shot. I was nearby. There was chaos, commotion. This is why it's important to keep events safe. And unfortunately, 3 people, I have no clue who they were, but they were shot. Prayers to them. Nothing can prepare you for something like that. Nothing can prepare you for an event. My wife and I had taken our daughter with us and gone somewhere else because we stayed outside the city of Davis. City of Davis hotels are too expensive, by the way. But what I'm coming to is that nothing can prepare you for something like that. Nothing can tell you something that's going to happen. This is why it's important for a city like ours that's small to always be ready for unfortunate events, because you never know when they're out there. It's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen, unfortunately, in today's world. But thank you, Megan, for working out. Thank you, Chief. I know it's going to be a very busy time for you guys with this Cinco de Mayo event, but I know you guys are amazing, and we'll get it through and process. And next year, Diego, it's time to start planning Cinco de Mayo event.
All right, Vice Mayor, okay. I took a couple, I don't want to say days off, but phone was still ringing, and I was in awe of the Great Festival. Even I was burnt and tired, and just, I don't even know how to express how, 4 years ago when we started this journey, right, Ms. Perez and Rick, whoever thought that our staff or ourselves would be part of a great festival, a first time ever festival for the city of McFarland. And it goes to show, like, if you just care, if that bad culture of cancer and of this is how things were and this is how things, you just take that out of the element of your work site, how things could move forward and things could progress, especially for our city. That a lot of us have been here for a couple decades or not, even if you haven't. It's just, this is things that are very important. And yes, we're never going to make everybody happy, but if a majority of the people see that we appreciate it. Not only our city staff's efforts, but residents' efforts for working on the grapes and for either working on the grapes, producing, food for not only the state, but the country, but other nations, and be proud of this festival. But anyways, I'm in awe. In a couple of days, it felt weird not answering my phone, and I'm gonna text you back, but I was actually driving back today. That's why I was a little bit off. I was like, wow, we just had this great festival, no incidents, a lot of positive comments, but that just goes to show how work gets done. And I want to end the night by thanking everybody for being here, whether it's in person or turning in live stream. Your continued support and involvement means a lot to our city and our community. Once again, good job. I want to give a round of applause to our city staff for the great festival, police department. Great job. Have a great night. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of your McFarland night, and have a safe Easter. And Sunday's always good. Easter's always a great day. With that, we have closed session, correct? I would like to end our regular meeting. Thanks everybody for attending. Have a good night.